Hello and welcome to the fourth video from the series where we'll talk about the fourth tip in order to regain a healthy work-life balance, especially for business owners. Now, tip number 4 is about switching off. With this one, and actually the fifth tip about feeling guilty, we will have to do a bit of background talking. What I mean by this is that there are two parts of our brains. There's the logical side and there's the emotional side. Now, me myself, I am or used to be a specialist on the logical side of things. I graduated as an aeronautical engineer in applied mechanics, specializing in the dynamics of supersonic laser-guided rockets. So with that engineering background, everything for me had to be black or white, 0 or 1, and nothing in between. Throughout my business career, though, I've realized that life is a bit more, I don't want to say complicated, but sophisticated and more interesting, and there's plenty of more depth to it, which is fascinating. But in order to understand that, I had to reevaluate what is more important, or what is actually the foundation of life. And it is not only logic. The more you read about it, the more you learn about it, the more experiences you have in life, you actually realize that it is the emotional brain, the emotional side that rules the world, that makes decisions for us. And then we try and justify it using our logical mind. So with switching off, it's technically very easy from the logical point of view, because you just switch off. Like, yeah, fine, we've adapted tip number 1 about setting firm boundaries, so that's it. It's fine. It won't be, because your emotional side will be screaming at you. Will be saying, hang on a moment, like, there's more work to be done. Like, I don't feel comfortable switching off. I want to be involved in thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow, or what can we do at the company, or how this conversation with my employee is going to pan out. So it will be screaming at you. It will want to engage in all those thoughts. So you now have to somehow address that problem. And because it is emotional, not logical, it will be more difficult. The way I would say is the best to approach it is to combine the two. Use a bit of logical brain, but also feelings. So let's start with the logical side. It's simple. Like, after work, there's not much you can do. Yes, you might feel busy because you're thinking, but technically there's not much you can do. And you're much better off going out like I am now, recharging your batteries. I mean, it's beautiful. Look at these plants and it's just fantastic. But you're much better off recharging yourself than constantly just sitting at work and thinking. By the way, you will fall into the trap of procrastination and becoming a workaholic, where you are busy but you are not productive. I've been there, so I know exactly what it's like. It's a vicious spiral. You work crazy hours, you're not productive at all, you always have these excuses that I can stay longer to catch up with work, but then you're tired, so you'll come in early the following day, but you're tired because you haven't had enough sleep, and that's why it's a vicious cycle. So again, logically, it's simple. You won't get much done if you work for 16 hours a day. It's as simple as that. Your brain needs a break, and if you run it to the ground, well, you just simply won't have results. So the logical side is simple. Now let's think about the emotional side. If you want to switch off, the best way to address that, or at least starting to unpeel the reasons why you can't switch off, is to think deeply how you feel when you switch off. And it is the feelings. I really emphasize the word feelings. How do you feel when you switch off? Or how do you even feel thinking about the fact that you will have to switch off? What is it like? What is it like, that feeling? Is it bothering you? What part of your experiences in life is it touching? It might go right back to your early days when you were a kid, where you were punished for maybe switching off. Maybe you were daydreaming at school and you were punished. Maybe the teacher made fun of you. It could be as deep as that, and one could say as trivial as that as well. But because it is the emotional side of things, you have to put the logic aside and just focus on feelings. Again, it's been a bit uphill, so I'm going to have a quick breather. Makes me look very unfit. Anyway, let's continue. So with emotions, it is best to dig as deep as you can. Even Toyota, in their lean manufacturing system, they also imply something called the 5 Why. Don't sort the problem at the surface, dig right to the root cause of it. And that is why they say that after you ask yourself 5 times why, you are highly probable to get to the root cause. So the same applies here. Try and dig deep. Why can't you switch off? What are the feelings associated with the thought of just switching off? And once you are over that, hopefully you will get to the bottom of it. Just relax. Just get into that state of switching off. Once you've defined the working hours as per tip number 1 and you've hit, let's say, 4 o'clock, switch off. And I mean also literally, switch off your computer. The difficult bit will be your mobile phone. Social media, unfortunately, is very addictive, so you will have to switch off, but please don't switch off now. At least watch this video and the following, just so you've covered the 5 tips for regaining a healthy work-life balance, and then you can freely switch off. So try and sorry, lost my thought there. Social media. Social media, it is a rabbit hole. You can, once you open a social media platform, it can actually shout at you. It could be a ping, it could be this number that there's something waiting for you, a message, or someone wants to connect, or whatever it is. It is very difficult, it is addictive, I know what it's like, but you just have to be the master of your own destiny. I'm sure this phrase resonates with you. As a business owner, you've already proven that you are a master of your own destiny, so now go that step further and be the master of all the social media platforms out there. Obviously, we need them to promote ourselves, like I obviously use social media. I love social media, but there are boundaries. The fact that we all love chocolate or ice cream doesn't mean we should eat endless amounts. So the same applies with social media and all the other wonderful stuff. It is best if you have it in limited amounts, and actually if you feel a bit hungry, you like more, that's even better, because that will always make you feel excited. So just to recap, when it comes to switching off, there are 2 sides. The logical side, which as discussed is fairly simple, just switch off, and there's the other side, the emotional side, which is more difficult because that's engraved in you probably from your early days in life, and you really have to dig deep to address those issues. And once you do, then hopefully you will feel okay that actually switching off is beneficial to you, and that thanks to this you will be a better, more productive and more efficient business owner. So now let's go into our final tip in the next video.